All right, so here we are with another episode of Minecraft. We are back at spawn point after the little baby husk took us out a bunch of times, and I ended up giving up and broke the bed so that it would send me back here. I ended up having to, one, spend the night in a tree because it was dark and mobs were spawning, and two, look up what my actual seed was because I couldn't remember where the village was located, so I had to actually look it up on the seed map in order to remember where I had to go in order to make it to my castle. And then I saw my castle, and it was quite the sight for sore eyes. Look at it in all of its marvelous glory. I'm very proud of my castle. I like the entrance. I feel like I need to work on it a little bit more, but like the tower I think is a little bit off, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, we made it back to our base. So now we have to work on getting our stuff back. And while we do that, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for all of the helpful comments down below, by the way. And anyways, let's get into this. So the general goal I have is we have this one ender eye, and I'm planning on making an ender chest so we can fly over there, we can dump our backup elytra back in the chest, and then head down and get all of our stuff with all of our backups. Unfortunately, I didn't have a second ender chest because I had made it. Oh, and the other important one that I thought of at like 2 a.m. was I could put a boat down, and that would trap the baby zombie so he could stop just keep running at me. I know that he can't despawn because he's got all of my gear on him, which is really nice, unlike the rest of my stuff. I wish that everybody else would pick my stuff up, except for my elytras. But I do want my elytras to stay. Anyways, but we had our plan, but I didn't have enough obsidian in order to be able to make another ender chest, so we popped over and we bought a new pickaxe and proceeded to break the obsidian. I forgot how long this takes to do because it's been so long since I've done it, and so that was kind of a funny thing, and I ended up accidentally getting too much because I just got 9 because I knew that was the building grid. But yeah, so that was a bit of a funny little adventure trying to make another ender chest, which I hadn't done in a very long time. I think it's kind of strange considering how much I did it. Anyways, I grabbed all of these stuff, put the ender chest down as planned, and then completely forgot the entire plan because I entered into the portal with my elytra on. So I was sitting out there and I was like, oh, okay. So I ran around and I got all of this stuff. You can see kind of like the trial chamber starting to hit me, and so I popped up on here, got the baby zombie in there, and then stood on top of him, and he still hit me. And I unfortunately hadn't reset my spawn point, so I was back at spawn, unfortunately, but I was able to find my way back, again having to look up the coordinates because I needed to know which direction to go. But we made it back, this time at night, which was kind of a nice little change. I immediately reset my spawn point because we were not going to run into this dilemma again, because that would have just been downright terrible. And now I didn't have an elytra to get me there, so we went old school and we went and got Spot, which we have not seen in a very long time, if ever. And so we decided to go over to get some gear from our helpful villagers in hopes that they would be able to prolong my life long enough that I could at least get some of my stuff back, because it wasn't looking good. The fact that I die really quickly, I guess, kind of helps in the sense that it unloads the chunks and stops them from despawning, but it's also one of those things where I'm like, it's only a matter of time before we actually lose all of our gear. So unfortunately, we had a bit of a delay in the fact that apparently horses cannot, or at least skeleton horses cannot go through 2x2 blocks, which I was unaware of. And then also I, for some reason, decided that I had to find the actual recipe in the recipe book instead of just making it myself. And so please ignore this as I'm staring there trying to remember what exactly I needed to do. And then I was like, oh my goodness, right, an iron pickaxe. And so I made that. It'd been a long time since I'd made anything iron. And then I went to go do this, and I turn around, and Spot is completely gone. And I was like, oh my goodness. Did he despawn? He has a name on him. How is that possible? And then I saw him. He was hanging out with our villager over here, and so I went and got him. And then I went up these stairs, which I don't use very often. And I remember whenever I built it, I was like, oh, these stairs are silly. I'll never use them. No, I use them. So good job. Then I started to move along on the nether roof in order to head in the right direction. Unfortunately, I proceeded to get lost a whole bunch of times, so I had to turn around, go back the way I came. Thankfully, these are all straight shots. Reorient myself to the direction that I always enter the portal so I would know which way to go. And then proceeded to get on. You see all those mushrooms over there? That kind of loops you to the direction that it's supposed to go, but for some reason I kept going the wrong way. Anyways, we eventually made it back, and look at all my gear right here. Isn't that amazing? You're like, oh my goodness. Wow, that's amazing. So we run around and we pick up all of this gear, and we're like, yes, we've done it. This is great. This is the perfect plan. Picked up absolutely everything. Went in, did not put anything inside the ender chest. And the baby zombie's there, and it's, oh my goodness, look at all the damage that's already done. But I've got a whole bunch of beds and junk, and I'm like, oh, this is nice, except for the fact that then the actual trial chamber started shooting at me, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is no good. So I was like, oh, this is terrible. Clearing out my inventory, trying to pick up like important stuff that will help me last longer, but my hearts are going down as we're doing this, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Inventory management at its worst. And so then I was like, fine, I'll do it. No, I got taken out again. I was like, oh my goodness. I sat here for a little bit longer. Anyways, so we circled back with a new plan again. This time we were going to get a bunch of little boxes, and we were going to set them all up here, and we were going to fill them with our inventories, just slowly ducking in and out, because clearly we could not last long enough. And then we ran around and got all of our stuff, and we're like, oh my goodness, we got it. We're getting there. We're doing fine. And then I got hit again. So long. We eventually got to the point where we got our stuff, which was really nice. This is me verifying that we've got at least some gear. And then also grabbing out all of our backup material, because we don't have any of our nice stuff because the baby husk has it, unfortunately. Put it all on, got our sword, and was like, all right, we're gonna do this. Double checking everything. I ended up not needing as many boxes as I thought I needed, which was kind of funny, but either way, we did it. We got our golden carrots. We're prepped and ready to go in. So we popped in here and quickly moved, because he hits us very quickly, so you gotta be fast. But then I accidentally left too quickly, and then when I went in, I didn't move quickly enough, and I ended up getting taken out by the baby zombie, which was a bummer. So we quickly turned around and we're like, oh, bummer, none of my stuff is in there, because I still have forgotten to put my elytra inside the chest, which is ridiculous. I just need to do it. So we wandered our way back after once again getting lost. I need to put lanterns or a more distinct path to go, because the way it's going right now, ridiculous. It's taking me forever and I keep getting lost. But all my stuff ended up on the outside of the portal, which was really nice, because then I could just put it all back on and head back through the portal again. Ta-da! We did it. So we made it back in here. At some point, Spot came in here, and I was like, all right, I'm going to hit the baby zombie. So we go and we proceed to hit it, and we're like, uh-oh, he's not there anymore. And I was like, that's not good. So we pop through this portal, and I can't see him anywhere, and then I see him over there, and I slowly start backing up. Then he sees me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I can't lose it again. I could lose him forever. And then I remembered I had the boat, and I put the boat down, and I was like, oh my goodness, is this it? This could go south so fast, because if I lose him up here on the roof, that's it. I'm never gonna find him again. There's no 2 a.m. plan that I can come up with. I will just forever be stuck with a fully armored baby husk wandering around aimlessly on the roof of the whole portal or whatever, and it will be terrible. So I also put my elytra in because I was prepped and ready to go. So I hit him, twice once I found him, and that was it. Show's over. It was all of that hard work, and it came down to me just hitting him in the boat, which was nice. I also found out that that wasn't the helmet I had on actually was better enchanted than the one I had. So at some point those got swapped. Don't know what happened there. Picked up the boat, which I feel at a certain point I should frame because it was the key to everything. Tossed some of my backup gear in there and my other stuff, and then decided that I was going to pop in real quick to see the general state of things to make sure that we could finish actually doing our stuff. And I also was going to need to get Spot back. But I eventually discovered that as I went down, unfortunately, some of the timers had reset, and so some of the spawners had restarted. And I quickly decided that, you know what? I didn't want to deal with this. So I quickly turned around in general and was like, you know what? Not today. I'm going to go and hide somewhere else and not deal with this after all that stuff that we had gone through. So anyways, we got our boots back. Let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like if you liked the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.